निरंजन पंजाबी जी, वो व्यवसाय से चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हैं और हमारे SSY ट्रेनिंग जो हमारा प्रोग्राम चलता है उसके वो बहुत एक्सपर्ट और एडवांस सीनियर टीचर हैं एंड इट्स अ वेरी वेरी डेडिकेटेड ग्रेट सोल। उन्होंने एक साल पहले ही SSY किया, लेकिन उसके पीछे एक के बाद एक एक्स्ट्रा एडिटेड चैलेंज का BST1 BST कंटिन्यूस सभी प्रोग्राम में SST सब जो भी प्रोग्राम ISP पूरा ISP किया, हर प्रोग्राम 3-4 महीने के अंदर उन्होंने सभी हमारे प्रोग्राम्स किए और सिर्फ करके भाग नहीं गए, लेकिन हमारे साथ में हमेशा रहे हैं। हर मंडे को आते हैं, SST लेते हैं। अभी कॉर्पोरेट्स में कंपनीज में भी SSY ट्रेनिंग और नया प्रोग्राम जो है वो लेते हैं। आज हम अभी शुरुआत करते हैं, बहुत कम समय में हमें बहुत कुछ आपको देना है, तो हम आपको एक फिल्म दिखाने वाले हैं और निरंजन जी उसमें आपको लीड करेंगे।
और ये जो फिल्म आप देख रहे हैं, इस फिल्म का नाम है द मिरेकल मैन। ये 28 मिनट की मूवी है। ये एक ट्रू लाइफ स्टोरी है एक पायलट की। भले वो इंग्लिश में है पर वो ऐसा है जो हमको सब क्लियर समझ में आएगा और बीच बीच में हम उसको एक्सप्लेन भी करेंगे। सो वी स्टार्ट विद द मूवी।
डिस्कस भी करेंगे। सेकंड रो से थोड़ा आगे आएंगे। सेकंड रो, थर्ड रो, फर्स्ट रो ठीक है। और जिनके आज बर्थडेज हैं वो आगे फर्स्ट इसके आगे आके बैठिए। जिनके बर्थडेज हैं ये 2.5 घंटे हैं, वो आगे आके बैठिए, उनके हम सेलिब्रेशन करेंगे।
My name is Morris Goodman. On March 10th, 1981, I left home on a pleasure trip. When I left, I had a loving wife, enjoyed a successful business career, and had a beautiful home. When I came back,
right now he doesn't have any respiratory effort. He does have a pulse, he's got a pressure of about 85
What's his last call?
Last update this time not responding to pain and then
Have the family on anything I can tell?
He's on a scale of 3 right now.
all I just tell him that
History on it, can you
he's
see it?
at this time. Mrs. Goodman?
Mrs. Goodman?
I'm Sandy Goodman. I'm Morris's sister, Pat. I'm his mother. How is he?
I'm afraid I can't tell you what you would like to hear. His condition is extremely critical.
What are his chances?
I have been in the medical profession, Mrs. Goodman, for a good number of years. And the fact that your husband is alive at this moment will no doubt make medical history. No one, to my knowledge, has ever survived a break in the first or second cervical vertebrae. Your husband's neck is broken in both those places. His spinal column was crushed. His larynx is damaged so severely that he will never speak again. He also is suffering permanent nerve damage, causing a dysfunctioning of the liver, the bladder, the kidneys, and the diaphragm, which means that he can't breathe and will never breathe without the use of a respirator. His swallowing reflexes are damaged so severely that he won't ever be able to eat or drink again. I'm sorry to have to tell you all this, but quite candidly, I don't think he can survive the night. Morris?
I knew I was going to have to ward off the negative expectations.
डॉक्टरों का कहना है और डॉक्टरों का कहना है कि उसकी जो हालत है वो ना खाना खा पाएगा ना सांस ले पाएगा मशीन के बिना। सो डॉक्टरों का सारा कहना है कि वो जीना बहुत तकलीफ और कठिनदायक होगा उसका आगे का, पर उस पेशेंट का खुद का फीलिंग क्या है वो अभी देखें।
Dysfunctioning of the liver, the bladder, the kidneys, and the diaphragm, which means that he can't breathe and will never breathe without the use of a respirator. His swallowing reflexes are damaged so severely that he won't ever be able to eat or drink again. I'm sorry to have to tell you all this, but quite candidly, I don't think he can survive the night. Morris?
I knew I was going to have to ward off the negative expectations of the medical staff.
Usually, injuries such as you have sustained are fatal. The odds are not in your favor.
Every story has its villains. The bad guys in mine seem to be society itself. When someone sustains injuries as severe as mine, they just expect that person to die. I didn't care what medical science expected. I knew what I expected, and that was to beat the odds and walk out of the hospital on my own 2 feet. And that's the way we work here. I want you gentlemen to know that we here at Morris E. Goodman and Associates are highly goal-oriented. I always have a battle plan in motion, one that will overcome virtually any obstacle, achieve any goal. I always set a short-term and a long-term goal, ones that will provide a major sense of accomplishment. My long-term goal was to walk out of the hospital a normal man.
This operation has never been done before. You have one chance in 1,000 of surviving. And the best you can hope for, if you do survive, is a wheelchair for the rest of your life. Now, if you understand and approve of this surgery, indicate yes by blinking your eyes once. If no, then twice.
And so, with a blink of an eye, I set my first goal to live.
वो बोल भी नहीं सकता, उसका कंफर्मेशन लेना है कि ऑपरेशन करना है कि नहीं। उसने मन में 2 गोल सेट किए, शॉर्ट टर्म गोल, लॉन्ग टर्म गोल, और नक्की किया कि मुझको ऑपरेशन करना है। क्योंकि वो बोल भी नहीं सकता, डॉक्टर ने उसको कहा तुम आंख बंद चालू करके बंद खोल करके बता सकते हो, एक बार ब्लिंक करेंगे आंख मतलब ऑपरेशन करना है, एंड दैट इज व्हाट ही डिड। वो उसने किया।
Very soon. If he survives, he'll only be able to blink his eyes for the rest of his life. The only hope I can give you is that in about 20 months he might, and I can't emphasize that word enough, he might be able to sit in a wheelchair with the use of a respirator. And what I see for his future is a nursing home and a short, non-productive life. I'm sorry, but we did the best we could.
Society's conditioned us to lose and had plans for me to spend a lifetime just existing. The medical doctors left me with the impression that I would be a vegetable, and who was I to argue? But I did. That's not the picture I saw of myself. I had to believe with all my heart and mind that I would be normal again. When I would close my eyes, I would relive that fateful day and events that led up to it.
Ever hear the words now? If you don't know what it means, I'll tell you a little bit later on. It's probably a word that can mean happiness or sorrow, success or failure, maybe even life want to tell you that man was born to win, but he's been conditioned to lose. Other people tell us we can't do something, we believe it, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and then we really can't.
As my condition stabilized, I had more visitors, and the need to communicate motivated my sister Pat to invent a code that was more sophisticated.
Bodyguard? No. Key systems card? No. Person's card? Ah, alphabet card. Okay, Morris, which box is the first letter in?
हर सवाल जवाब को आंखों के इशारों से बताया जाता है। एक बार ब्लिंक करेगा, 2 बार ब्लिंक करेगा, 3 बार ब्लिंक करेगा, उस हिसाब से वो कम्युनिकेट करता है।
Letter, which box is the second letter in? 2. Which line? First line. Thank you. You're most welcome.
Is there something you'd like to say? You know how to communicate with him using the chart?
I sure do.
You sure do.
Box. 1 or 2. Letter. Box. 1 or 2. He says you're a great doctor. Do you realize you've just done more with 2 words than the entire nursing staff has been able to do in 2 years?
My number 2 goal was to breathe. I had to be free of that machine. I would now try to inhale a little air into my lungs, but my chest ached. After 100 breaths, I would stop to see if my lungs would expand on their own. I kept trying, but nothing was happening. When sleep came, the pictures came back. The runway was only 1,300 feet long and required a letdown for telephone wires. I reduced speed to 75 miles per hour. As I lay on my bed thinking about how powerful the mind is, I remembered an evening at my neighbor's home and a story he told me that helped motivate me to keep going.
Morris, you're a fan of Zig Ziglar's. Have you heard the story he tells about the middle-aged man working on a refrigerator car?
No, I haven't.
Well, he was accidentally locked inside. He banged on the door, he yelled, and he screamed, but no one heard him. And finally, he accepted his destiny. He sat down, his body became numb. With his fingers, he scribbled a message on the wall for those who would eventually find him. He said, "Getting colder now, starting to shiver. Nothing to do but wait. Slowly freezing to death. Half asleep now. These are my last words." 5 hours later, they opened the car door and found the man's body. Now, a sad story, but here's the twist. The temperature inside the car was 56 degrees. The refrigeration unit was broken. There was plenty of air for him to breathe. The man simply willed himself to die.
If the mind was that destructive, surely it could heal too. I decided on a specific day and date to walk out of the hospital. Christmas.
Hi, Morris. I'm Kathy, and I'll be your physical therapist. Okay, are you ready? Mia? I love word games, but I don't know. You might have to help me with that one.
The doctors had warned my family it was impossible. But I saw myself off the respirator and on my own 2 feet walking. This, of course, was all part of my logical success blueprint. My most important step to create a detailed mental picture of success. Construct scenes of what life will be after the goal has been accomplished. Imagine it already achieved. Begin to act as though it had already become a reality. The same ideas work whether you're a manager, a supervisor, a salesperson, or anyone in business or in any walk of life.
Morris,
Yes, what is it?
I talked with Dr. Matthews this morning, and he wants to send you to Charlottesville for more advanced treatment.
I gave her a message for Dr. Matthews. You tell him I'll be back in 6 months, and when I come back, I'll walk into his office and shake his hand.
Are you serious? Candidly, I think you're not being very realistic about it. Don't you think you'd be a lot better off just to accept where you are and go on? I think you're setting yourself up for a big disappointment. I'll tell him, but I don't think he'll believe it.
The test continued.
इस कंडीशन में भी उसने अपने दिमाग में 2 गोल सेट किए। लॉन्ग टर्म गोल कि 25 दिसंबर यानी क्रिसमस की तारीख तक मैं अपने पैरों से बाहर जाऊंगा। ये उसका लॉन्ग टर्म गोल उसने दिमाग में सेट किया और वो हासिल करने के लिए अब वो शॉर्ट टर्म गोल सेट करते जाता है। उसका एक शॉर्ट टर्म गोल था कि मैं अपने आप से श्वास ले पाऊंगा, इस रेस्पिरेटर से मुक्त हो जाऊंगा।
I had so many x-rays, you could have found me with a Geiger counter.
Look, that's incredible. You ever see anyone with injuries like these survive?
No, and I won't tell anyone. They'd never believe me. This guy's a miracle man.
Hi, Morris. I'm Ruth. I'm the private duty nurse.
Morris, we're going to put something on your head to keep your neck straight because it isn't lining up properly. So we're going to fit you with a halo vest.
A halo vest, he said. It sounded almost heavenly. It was hell. But that night I continued my breathing exercises, and finally my persistence paid off. One night I did 2 sets of deep breaths. I felt my lungs expand 3 times. It was possible. I took 3 breaths on my own. The thoughts of the accident diminished somewhat. They haunted me every now and again. Our reduced power added full flaps and cut my airspeed to around 65. Everything was going smoothly. The next step in my blueprint for success was to allow my dream to develop. I repeated the mental scenes of my breathing and eating, talking, walking over and over with white heat intensity. When enthusiasm and belief build, they generate the energy to make any goal a reality.
You know, we build our own barriers to success. Did you know that a circus elephant, when tied to a small stake, can't get away? Physically it could, mentally it can't. You see, when it was just a baby, it was tied with a large rope and it couldn't get loose. It was conditioned to believe it was impossible. So today, a large elephant can be tied with a small rope and it believes it can't get away. It doesn't even try. You know, our self-image means so much in life. Our self-image is a mental picture that we carry with us, made up of past victories and defeats, triumphs and humiliations. It can determine how we react to any given situation. Our thoughts, our feelings, even our abilities. But it is not set in concrete. Science has proved that the central nervous system is not capable of telling the difference between actual experience and one imagined.
I believed in myself and my faith in God. Belief and faith are the most powerful and positive constructive forces known to man.
Morris, we have orders to take you off the respirator for a few minutes to see if you can breathe on your own. Why are you taking him off the respirator? Everyone in this hospital knows the nurse whose diaphragm is set.
Well, you believe that, and I believe that, and the whole medical staff here believes that. Until Morris believes it, we take him off the respirator for a while.
As I continued to review my success blueprint, I continued to see and feel and act like the major goal had been achieved. I was already thinking of what was next.
Put you back on.
I was now breathing on my own. No more respirator.
उसका शॉर्ट टर्म गोल अचीव हुआ। अब वो खुद से सांस ले पाता है, रेस्पिरेटर से मुक्त हो गया।
Mildred Mitchell, it was nearly the end.
You ought to be arrested.
My next phase, according to my blueprint, was to use my accomplishments as a positive reinforcement to my next step, to speak.
Normally your trach tube is open. Today we're going to put a little ball over the end of it, and this is going to force.
Next step है that he wants to speak. वो बोलना चाहता है. पहला शॉट का गोल था, उसको सांस लेना है. अब अगला गोल है वो बोलना चाहता है. तो उसके लिए वो किस तरह आगे बढ़ता है?
Need some more air? Okay, away. Okay, breathe. Just relax. Now let's try it again. I'm going to put the ball back over your trach tube. Just trying to get any kind of sound in.
I tried for weeks to make sounds. I just couldn't do it. But I didn't quit.
Okay, it's time to rest. And I want you to rest. We've got a lot of work to do tomorrow, so let's stay up a little bit.
Take for granted was now one of the most important functions in my life. Eating, but I couldn't swallow.
Try to relax. Try to open this up. I know it hurts.
अब उसका next goal है वो खाना चाहता है. So he should be able to eat and drink. वो उसका next goal है.
Tough after 3 months. Okay, come on. One more.
Ruth, did you get me an orange freeze?
What did you say?
Howard Johnson's across the street. It's just sherbet and orange juice.
Can you swallow it?
Well, no, till I try. Ruth. Get caught. I can do it. I did it. Don't tell anybody about this, and that made me stop. The following day, she smuggled in chicken soup. Unsuccessfully.
You could have choked to death.
Yes. But I didn't.
Di mana sampai?
Alright, lean forward. Take your left leg. Good. Move that left hand forward. Good. Alright, good. Now lean forward. Alright, now your left hand. Good. Alright, good. And good. Now, keep right forward. Good.
Morris, let me ask you, what is your goal?
To walk out of this hospital on my own 2 feet, with no mechanical aid.
My ultimate
ultimate goal is complete recovery.
Morris, you've got to be realistic. You will never function anywhere close to the level you once did. The sooner you realize this, the better off you'll be.
I don't care if you believe that, Dr. Wiggins. It's when I start believing that I'm in trouble.
Shame. What's the shame? Morris, he's been working for months to meet this goal he set walking in the mirror. Don't you think he'll make it? I heard they're releasing next month. He'll make it. He'll make it. I know he'll make it.
I plan on walking out of here tomorrow.
Morris, I know you do. But you can't.
I'm going to, and with no help.
You know, discouragement can eat away at a person's soul. It can eat away at his hope. Discouragement eats away at a person's self-confidence with doubt and self-pity. When we're bubbling over with enthusiasm, anything is possible. When we're obsessed with an aim, anything is possible. Don't let anyone or any thought rob you of your goal. Remember I asked you earlier on this tape if you knew what smile meant? Well, now.
Morris, I'm Tom Eldridge. I was your roommate at University Hospital. Can I talk to you?
Of course, Tom.
I just want to thank you.
Thank me for what?
I have been down here watching you stumble, fall, pick yourself up over and over again. They told me that I'd never walk again. But I figured if you could, I could. I just wanted to thank you. Because if it weren't for you, I'd be in a wheelchair the rest of my life.
Always said, you can get everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want.
Morris, I want to tell you that since you've been with us, you've made your mark on the lives of a lot of people here.
In my business, I always had a battle plan, a blueprint for success. I set long-range goals, took a personal inventory of my needs, carefully assessed each situation. I set many goals and set out to accomplish one at a time. I would set a time limit and then try to create a mental picture of how things would be once that goal was accomplished. I think Henry Ford said it quite nicely when he said, whether we think we can or whether we think we can't, either way, you're right.
Do you know what the staff calls you?
I'd be afraid to ask.
The Miracle Man.
Okay, hold it right here. This is where I get off.
Morris, I honestly believe that you might walk in a couple of weeks, but you are not ready yet.
And besides, it's against hospital regulations.
This moment is the very first of my goals. To walk out of this hospital on my own 2 feet. And regulations or not, that's exactly what I intend to do. I would appreciate it if someone would be kind enough to hold that door. Stay back. One thing I learned in life, especially while I was here, doesn't matter how many times we stumble and fall down, it's how many times we stumble and get back up. Stay back.
I never did figure this out.
Well, you know, our thoughts, Kathy, are what control our life. Someone once said we should be the porter of our thoughts and allow only those we want realized on our bodies. That little sign helped me to realize that. It means being susceptible to the negative influences of other people. You know, negative expectations can sometimes be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And in order to keep from committing mental suicide, I had to remind myself of that daily.
You were quite a guy, Morris.
Better keep that. Maybe it'll help someone else.
Hey, old buddy, you see this? That, in my opinion, was not a good landing.
How could anyone survive a crash like that?
और क्या लिंक आया हमको ये मूवी देख के, उस पायलट की जो परिस्थिति थी, उस परिस्थिति में मेडिकल प्रोफेशन ने, सीनियर मोस्ट डॉक्टर ने कहा कि इसको जिंदा रखेंगे भी तो बस एक चीज की तरफ पड़ा रहेगा, मशीन पर जीता रहेगा, ना खा पाएगा ना खुद से श्वास ले पाएगा। ये था मेडिकल प्रोफेशन का कहना, पर उसका खुद का सोचना और उसका खुद का आत्मविश्वास कुछ और था। उस परिस्थिति में भी जब वो बोल नहीं सकता, उसका दिमाग ठीक से काम कर रहा था और उसने अपने दिमाग में बहुत हिम्मत, साहस रख के ये सोचा कि नहीं, मैं क्रिसमस तक 25 दिसंबर तक अपने पैरों में इस हॉस्पिटल से चल के बाहर जाऊंगा। हर परिस्थिति पे मेडिकल और उसकी आजू बाजू का माहौल विरुद्ध की बातें कर रहे थे, मतलब नेगेटिव एंड नेगेटिव ओनली। पर उसका आत्मविश्वास बहुत ही मजबूत था कि हम तो आगे जीतेंगे इसमें। उसमें वो बोल नहीं पा रहा था, उसने आंखों के इशारे से हर चीज का जवाब दिया। जो ऑपरेशन रिस्की था उसने कहा हाँ हमें करना है। एक एक करके शॉर्ट टर्म टारगेट रखते गया। उसको रेस्पिरेटर से फ्री होना था, उसने साहस किया, उसने खुद से श्वास लेना शुरू किया, अल्टीमेटली वो रेस्पिरेटर से फ्री हुआ। नेक्स्ट टारगेट वो खुद खाना चाहता था, डॉक्टर लोग की मनाही थी कि नहीं खाना है, उसने खुद से बाहर से जूस मंगवाया और जूस पिया। जूस पीने के बाद जब डॉक्टर को पता चला इसने जूस पिया, डॉक्टर का क्या कहना था? You could have died, it would have choked up। और उसका जवाब क्या था? But it did not। वो चोक हो सकता था, वो बात छोड़ो, वो चोक नहीं हुआ, वो हकीकत है। फिर उसने अगला टारगेट रखा and ultimately he did walk out from the hospital on his 2 feet। और उसमें उसने कहा था कि मैं इस हॉस्पिटल में वापस अपने पैरों से चलकर आऊंगा and I will shake the hand with the doctor, and that is what he did। अब इस पे से हम क्या कंक्लूजन पे आए, सारांश क्या रहेगा? यस विल पावर, वेरी गुड, गिव अ बिग हैंड। नेक्स्ट, एनीबॉडी एल्स?
हाथ ऊपर करिए, खड़े हो जाइए और शेयरिंग करिए।
पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग एंड कॉन्फिडेंस।
परफेक्टली ऑल राइट, पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग एंड कॉन्फिडेंस। यस, डिटर्मिनेशन, परफेक्टली राइट, डिटर्मिनेशन। अरे ताली बजाने में क्यों करते हैं? ताली बजाने में अपना क्या जाता है? Anybody else sharing? Yes, nothing is impossible. I change the statement, I say everything is possible, right? Meaning is the same, but I put it in a positive term, राइट?
जो ड्रीम करते हैं वो पॉसिबल होते हैं।
जो चीज
जो ड्रीम करते हैं वो पॉसिबल होते हैं।
जो ड्रीम करते हैं वो पॉसिबल होता है। इसका मतलब क्या? ड्रीम करना जरूरी है, राइट? सो ड्रीम के बिना हमारा जीवन भी क्या जीवन, राइट? So what is necessary in our life is having visions. Now step by step we will go on understanding something about, हम समझना चाहेंगे step by step। एक हमारा कोर्स है सत्य सेवक ट्रेनिंग। उस कोर्स में ये ड्रीम करना क्या होता है, ये ड्रीम करने की क्या बेनिफिट्स है, ये ड्रीम करने का क्या तरीका है, आस्ते आस्ते हम उसको डिस्कस करते जाएंगे और हम उसको खुलासा करते जाएंगे। एक एक पॉइंट को हम उसको आज समझते जाएंगे, राइट?
सत्य सेवक ट्रेनिंग जो है इसके बारे में आज आपको हम इंस्पायर करने वाले हैं, बताने वाले हैं। इट्स वेरी फैंटास्टिक एंड माइंड ब्लोइंग प्रोग्राम, जिसके बारे में हम संगीत के माध्यम से देखेंगे। ओके, हमारे मन में हम जो भी चाहते हैं वो सब कुछ हम अस्तित्व में ला सकते हैं। कोई भी वस्तु दो बार इस जीवन में अस्तित्व में आती है। एक बार है जब ये हमारे मन में आती है वो बात, और दूसरी बार जब वो एक्चुअली मैनिफेस्टेशन होती है, जब वो अस्तित्व में आती है। तो आज अभी हम शुरुआत करते हैं संगीत के माध्यम से, और इस संगीत में सिर्फ आपको सुनना नहीं है, आपको साथ में गाना भी है। तो अश्विनी माँ शुरुआत करिए। थोड़ा मन दर्पण कहलाए भले भले बुरे सारे कर्मों को देखिए, और उसके शब्दों को भी ध्यान दीजिए, और शब्दों के अंडरस्टैंडिंग के साथ में आप गाइए।
जय गुरुदेव।
साउंड क्लियर नहीं बोल रहे हैं, पीछे साउंड बराबर नहीं है।
Wonderful, wonderful. Give a big, big, big hand.
गलियां झुटके डांटे मन सबका आधार। हमारा मन यदि बहुत खुश है तो सब दुनिया हमें खुश नजर आती है। यदि हमारे मन में कुछ कमियां हैं, यदि कमियां हैं, यदि कुछ मायूसी है तो पूरी दुनिया हमें मायूस नजर आती है। तो हमारे मन में कितना शक्ति है हमने पहले फिल्म से देखा, अभी हम संगीत के माध्यम से देख रहे हैं कि ये फिल्मियों के गीतों में भी ये सब मैसेजेस दिया हुआ है कि हमारे मन का कितना पावरफुल यूज़ हम कर सकते हैं। हम मन की शक्ति से अपनी ज़िंदगी को आगे लेके जा सकते हैं या पीछे भी लेके जा सकते हैं। जिन्होंने SSY किया है उनको मालूम है विजन की क्लास में क्या होता है।
ये जो फिल्में गीते हैं, ये जो फिल्में हैं, उसमें से भी हमको कितनी बातें सीखने मिलती है, प्रोवाइडेड हम उसको किस नजरिए से देखते हैं। आपने काफी लोगों ने ओम शांति ओम देखा होगा, नहीं? ओम शांति ओम, यस, ओम शांति ओम,
कितने लोग देखे हैं?
हाथ ऊपर कीजिए, देखा है। अब ओम शांति ओम का थीम जो है, उसका डायलॉग है जो शाहरुख कहता है, क्या है, काफी बातें जो हम कहेंगे शायद आपको पता चले नहीं चले, पर शाहरुख कहता है तो जरूर पता चलेगा, है? नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है। वेरी गुड। यस, एनीबडी हु कैन नरेट? नोबडी? ट्राई। हाँ, कायनात वाला। यस, वेरी गुड। कैन यू, जैसा भी आता है, जितना भी आता है। नहीं, और उसमें कुछ ऐसा है कि इतनी शिद्दत से मैंने तुम्हें पाने की कोशिश की है, इतनी शिद्दत से मैंने तुम्हें पाने की कोशिश की है कि हर तरह ने तुमसे मिलाने की कोशिश की है। कहते हैं अगर किसी चीज को दिल से चाहो तो सारी कायनात उसे तुम्हें हासिल करने में मदद करती है। You got the theme of this? This is the theme of Om Shanti Om. अगर किसी चीज को मन से चाहो तो सारी कायनात उसे तुम्हें हासिल करने में मदद करती है। पर क्या हम किसी चीज को मन से चाहते हैं? हमको कल क्या चाहिए, क्या हम वो सोचते हैं? What we require tomorrow, are we planning it out? What is my tomorrow's requirement? Am I thinking in advance? Okay, I just tell you, take 2 minutes, share, make a group of 4, make a group of 4, immediately, only 30 seconds. अगले 60 दिनों में, in next 2 months, आपको क्या चाहिए? अगले 2 महीनों में आपको क्या चाहिए? आपको क्या हासिल करना है? मेरे को गाड़ी चाहिए, मेरे को बंगला चाहिए, मेरे को बीवी चाहिए, मेरे को ऐश्वर्या राय चाहिए। आपको क्या चाहिए? नहीं, ऐश्वर्या, ओके 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 ओके, आप क्या
जा चुकी है।
ओके, नाउ व्हाटएवर यू वांट। चलो 30 सेकेंड्स एंड डिस्कस। आप क्या चाहते हैं? वो एक चीज हो सकती है, वो एक खुद के बारे में हो सकता है, वो एक डिग्री हो सकती है। थैंक यू पार्टनर। चलो अभी फटाफट इमीडिएटली उन 3 चीजों में से एक बहुत महत्व की चीज है और मैं 60 दिनों में हासिल करना चाहता हूँ। तीनों नहीं बताओ मेरे को सिर्फ एक बताओ। फास्ट हाथ ऊपर कीजिए, माइक आएगा। यस, नेक्स्ट 60 डेज में आप क्या चाहते हैं?
मेरे यूएस की वीजा मिल जाएगा।
और उनको यूएस की वीजा मिल गई, ऐसे करिए। The more you share, the more we say, the more we bless.
My sister is married.
My sister is married in next 60 days. Give a big hand. The more you share, the more the possibility of happening. आप बोलेंगे वो होएगा.
I'm having one more TV camera.
I'm having one more
TV camera.
Camera, very good.
मेरा बेटा आउट ऑफ है.
हमारा बेटा आउट ऑफ इंडिया जाएगा. तो एक मिनट मैं कैसे बोलूंगा? मेरा बेटा आउट ऑफ इंडिया गया, हो गया, प्रेजेंट है. जाएगा नहीं, गया, हासिल हो गया. यस.
अच्छा, हम PhD कर रहे हैं इंडियन फिलोसफी में. I want to submit my thesis within 2 months.
So I want to complete my PhD in 2 months. I have completed my PhD in next 2 months by this date.
I am selected for Mumbai Cricket Association.
I am selected for MCA, Mumbai Cricket Association. Congrats बोलने का, all the best नहीं, congrats. Select हो गया. Right? Yeah, this side.
I am having rupees 1 crore.
I am having rupees 1 crore. एक minute. I will clarify here. I am having rupees 1 crore as a liability. As a liability, or I have earned rupees 1 crore. I have earned rupees 1 crore. Yeah.
Good health.
My health is very, very good. Great.
ब्यूटी पार्लर है, उसके लिए मेरा बहुत बड़ा जगह, मेरा 2 महीने में मेरे पास में आ गया.
आइसक्रीम. या और मेरे पास ब्यूटी पार्लर के लिए बहुत बड़ी जगह है. लास्ट शेयरिंग. लास्ट. We will continue.
और सबका प्यार चाहिए.
मन की शांति और सबका प्यार चाहिए, पर वो 60 दिनों के बाद नहीं, वो अभी से immediate. Right? Okay.
मेरा 10 किलो का वेट कम हो गया है.
My weight has reduced by 10 kg.
यूनिवर्सिटी का लास्ट एग्जामिनेशन, योगा का एग्जामिनेशन पास हो गया.
I have cleared the yoga examination.
मेरा विजन है 2 मंथ्स के बाद मेरे पास N95 का मोबाइल है.
Okay, I have N95 mobile. Now why have vision only of having one mobile? Why not have a vision that I am the owner of a mobile shop? Right? So why one N95 mobile? It's my showroom which is full of all. Can I not think that way? Yes or no? और अगर मैं उस तरह सोचूंगा तो दुकान नहीं तो मेरे को जो चाहिए वो तो मिलेगा ही मिलेगा. Right? Now we have to be very, very clear, and the more clear we are, you saw the miracle man, है ना? किस परिस्थिति से वो बाहर आकर के कहां तक पहुंचता है? Why? It is only the clarity, it is only the vision, only his mind power which gets him out. In this SST, Satya Seva training, we teach, we discuss, we share the techniques, how to make a vision, what to do to manifest a vision quicker, right? Okay, now whenever we are sharing, we will be very quick, and we will be with time. Now the clarity of speech we have to have. आज के जमाने में हम तो ओके काफी ग्रोन अप है. एक उदाहरण देता हूँ. एक केजी स्कूल में 5 बरस के बच्चों, एक बच्चा हाथ ऊपर करके टीचर से सवाल करता है. See how good and how clear the thoughts are. वो छोटा 5 बरस का बच्चा टीचर से पूछता है, टीचर क्या बच्चों के भी बच्चे हो सकते हैं? टीचर सुनने के बाद 1 मिनट तो चौकित रह गए, और टीचर ने जवाब तो देना ही है. तो टीचर ने जवाब दिया, नहीं बेटा, ऐसा नहीं होता. वो बच्चा तुरंत बाजू में बैठी लड़की को बोला, देखा खामखम डरती थी. So how clear they are. Why we are so confused? How clear they can communicate? क्या उसने कुछ कहा? नहीं, पर हम सब कुछ समझ गए वो क्या कह रहे हैं. Yes or no? Right? Now, majority of the people if we see, तो हर कोई कहेगा मुझको टेंशन है, मुझको टेंशन है. Now tension is something different. पर वो उसका जो इम्पैक्ट हमारे पे आता है वो टेरर जैसा रहता है, वो हॉरर जैसा रहता है, वो ट्रेजेडी जैसा रहता है. आई रिपीट, लिसन ब्रो, हम कहते हैं वो टेंशन है, पर हमारा जो रिएक्शन है वो टेरर जैसा है, वो हॉरर जैसा है, वो ट्रेजेडी जैसा है. अब ये सारे जो शब्द मैं वापर रहा हूं, टेंशन, टेरर, हॉरर, ट्रेजेडी, ये सब क्या है? तो हाँ बोलो, नेगेटिव है, पर ये सब में अलग एक लेवल है. अब ये सब का जो लेवल हमको समझना है, तो व्हाट इज टेंशन? माय वाइफ इज प्रेग्नेंट, सो इट इज माय टेंशन. My girlfriend is pregnant. It is, or something more. It is a terror. It is a terror. Correct? Now compare the two. So which is better? Tension or terror? Which is better? Tension is better or terror? My wife is pregnant is a tension. My girlfriend is pregnant is a terror. Okay. My next word was horror. Both are pregnant. It is a. Now which is better, tension or horror? Last. Both are pregnant, but I'm not after it. It's not because of me. It is a tragedy. Now tragedy is better or tension? Why worry about tension? You got it? Why worry about tension?